You're only ready to read the last page of a book if you've read all of the pages that came before it. And what if you are the book? How do you skip over you so that you can get to the last page of you and just be done with it all? Well, obviously, you don't. If you were to skip to the last page without experiencing everything that led up to that page, you'd be pretty confused. Life would also seem pretty meaningless and without any real depth. So why do so few people awaken? There are, of course, teachers and teachings that claim people are awakening all the time. That all it takes for enlightenment to happen is to start reading from the last page. That moving through the rest of the story is unnecessary and can be easily circumvented by reciting a few philosophical haikus. There's nothing wrong with buying into this sort of spiritual belief system, just as there's nothing wrong with believing in Santa Claus or the Easter Bunny. The question is, do you want to settle for belief systems that don't reflect your actual experience of reality? Does it seem like doing so makes reality go away? Why would you want reality to go away in the first place? Perhaps it's time to face the facts. Santa Claus is not real. The Easter Bunny is a lie. Skipping over the evolution of consciousness is a load of horse feces. Ultimately, you as consciousness wants to understand itself through a particular story, your story. You as consciousness wants to experience limitation through your particular programming and conditioning, so that your eventual release from it will be completely unique. In this way, the whole is allowed to experience liberation for the first time, over and over again. Not a bad idea. So how do you know if you're on your last page? Well, if it feels like you're getting to the point where the interest in yourself is wearing thin and the impulse to arrive at a final existential conclusion is withering away, then chances are you'll be closing the book soon. What we're really talking about here, though, whether we want to admit it or not, is the end of searching for lasting connection. This is what the entire journey has been about, hasn't it? To merge with wholeness and permanently drop all sense of isolation and separation. Lasting connection is what all motivations are ultimately fueled by. Whether you're the most seasoned Zen student, hell-bent on mastering the art of impersonal passive awareness, or a hermit in the woods whose only company is the squirrels, or an atheistic scientist who's determined to figure out what makes everything tick. What underpins every motivation is the desire to bring an end to inner division, to finally rest. To arrive at the point where only lasting connection matters, though, you have to have tested every other option. You have to know in your bones that nothing else, no success, no relationship, no insight, will ever be enough. That realization can't be borrowed. It doesn't come from agreeing with the right teachings. It only comes through experience. If you still feel like there's a specific experience you need, then that need will need to be met, or at the very least, explored thoroughly, in this life or the next. No shame in that. That's why there's so much value in being total in your pursuit. not because it guarantees awakening, but because it burns through the seed of desire faster. Desire dries up when you've fully seen through the game, the emptiness of attainment, the exhaustion of chasing illusions. The more total your sincerity, the faster you reach this point. Because the core of all seeking, all desire, all effort, is an unwillingness to see the lasting connection that's already right in front of you. When your disinterest in yourself hits full bloom and becomes married with a singular laser-like focus on revealing that lasting connection, it's safe to say that the last sentence of your story is being read. So what happens after the last sentence is read and the book is closed? What becomes of you when there's nothing left to read? Well, what were you before you started reading? Before you were an identity in a story. No need to get poetic here, but suffice it to say that you were what makes all stories possible. Not just the words or the pages, but the silent presence the book appears within. You were the timeless reader, the quiet witness. And when the book is closed, that presence, that witness, remains unbound, whole, and untouched.